Hey everyone, so this is just a little video on teaching people how to fly. Um,
As you've already got some
Now,
flight time
if you've
and
done the training,
considering the
I'll put in like
Starter up. Pre-flight
training while I'm
checks are
talking here.
done
But
and dusted. Eyes on the needle.
training here,
Rotate a
to
little.
get to this, you
Left,
just press
right.
play, training. You gotta go through some little
Good.
other little training missions, and then you unlock the flying one.
Hold it next.
Once you've done the
Level
flying
off.
one, that teaches you kind of like the
Cycling
basics and
9
everything.
pairs breath to the left.
Which is
Not too much.
quite fun.
That's
But if you
it.
want to take this one step
And
further
safety.
and practice
Okay.
without
Controls and
wasting
rotors
resources and stuff in an
responsive.
actual game, jump into this Game Master Ireland. I'll just reset because I've been in this quite a bit to practice flying myself. This I have found to be the best way to learn. You can also, for Xbox and PC players, you can also put mods in this, so you can practice with the modded helicopters and all that. So that's also pretty good. But for this, I'm going to keep it pretty simple, just the standard vehicles. So once you load in, you'll be thrown into this map and you'll be in the Game Master sense, which is pretty much like the admin. This is just like a single player world for you. So to get started, you want to spawn in a helicopter. And for that, you want to click on this vehicle tab over here. You want to scroll over and you want to spawn in whatever helicopters you want to practice with. You also got the two US ones, and then if you scroll over, you got the two USSR ones. And yeah, so obviously spawn it in. You just click on it. It'll then bring up this like outline of it. Just tap it, and then you spawned it in. How do you fly? Good question. If you click the respawn menu, it's going to bring you here, and it's going to say there are no factions available. So you want to go back into Game Master. Now there's two ways you could do this. You can go through, click here, and then this will bring up playable factions, and you go from there. But let's be honest, you're not really setting up a little game, are you? You're just practicing to fly. So over here you'll say space to create player. This will obviously be different if you're on Xbox and PlayStation, but there'll be a button here anyway. Press that. This will bring up this menu of soldiers and civilians. So you just want to, get one you like. Just for this sake, I'm going to spawn in the pilot. Doesn't actually matter. And then we're going to click up here, play as character. It'll also then spawn us in the helicopter. And if you've played the tutorial, then you'll know obviously the start engine's up here, because this is the same helicopter you get given in the tutorial. And you can fly around here for as long as you want, getting comfortable with the helicopter, getting used to it and everything, which is always good. But this video, I want to kind of just go over a few things that will help you in terms of like little tips and tricks, if you will, to help you fly, and what I personally feel like you should practice the most, because it's easy enough, flying it in the tutorial. It tells you to fly at like 300 altitude or whatever, and teaches you to turn and all that, as you saw in the intro. There's probably like a little montage almost thing, as the intro is quite short, but that will teach you the very basics of up, down, left, right thing. But what you really should be practicing in this little game mode is you want to be practicing your tight turns like this, because you've probably seen in games that is very close to one of the landings types you can do, which I'll get into later on. But first off, you want to spawn in your helicopter, you want to start flying, you want to get comfortable with it, and then you want to practice low altitude flying. And why do I say low altitude flying is important? Well, for one, you can stay pretty under the radar when attacking bases and stuff until it is time to then pop up. And if you're in a attack chopper or anything, then you can pop up, get that surprise, and shoot them. And overall, for one, it's very fun, and second of all, it will take people by surprise, because they'll be expecting you guys to be flying in the sky high up above the tree lines or whatever. But if you're popping up like this, it'll take them a lot longer to then get ready to pull out that anti-airs and all that. And so you have time to get away pretty much. And if you are flying low, you can then dip behind the trees, and their AA, if they haven't already locked on, then they will lose that lock on. So low altitude is probably one of my biggest things that I would recommend practicing. Once you got low altitude pretty comfortably done, Another thing which will come with the low altitude flying and like weaving in between little bits, like this map's pretty good because it will have like opening bits and then it will just close off into a tree line, which is always good to practice. My second thing, which is the weight and feel of your helicopter. Now, every helicopter has a different feel. This one and the one with the guns on the side, pretty similar, but slight weight variant, I believe. And if you fill this up with cargo, it'll also be a lot heavier, which you can also do by right-clicking on it when you're in the Game Master mode. And then you obviously got the USSR ones, which are incredibly heavy, which if you guys do primarily play on the Russian or USSR side, then obviously you wanna practice with that. I need to get more practice with it, as you guys can tell in my videos, I predominantly do play the Russian side, but that's on modded servers, so I don't usually use those helicopters. I usually wait till I'm high enough rank to spawn in the mini birds, as I like to call them. Now, once you've practiced low altitude, you got used to the weight and feel of your helicopter. A very like advanced step is the landing. Now, in the tutorial, it does teach you how to land, but that's a very slow landing. And as we all know, if you're playing in a server and your helicopter's landing or a helicopter's landing, you're gonna want to be shooting that down before they can either get their supplies off or, you know, disband troops to that base that you might be defending, or they might be defending and you're trying to stop that. So one of the, I'd say probably the most popular landing is probably going to be this. Where they sort of go, turn tightly, and then land. That's obviously, they do it a lot faster. But for this video, I'm kind of taking it a bit slow so you guys can kind of understand the what it kind of looks like in first person. I won't be doing it in third person, mainly because I'm not that confident yet in doing it. As I don't really fly or do anything in third person in this game. But yeah, so how am I doing this? As I said towards the beginning of this, you want to practice your tight turning, and that's very important here because, as you can tell, once you finish that turning, you do lose, you know, a decent amount of momentum. So when you're coming out of that tight turning like this, you want to be then holding your down arrow, tilting back a tiny bit, and then you're landing. It's that simple, that quick. And if you're flying low altitude as well, as you can see, you are touching the ground very quickly. And why is it important to know your helicopter? Well, I don't want to be tilting too far, like turning too hard that close to the ground, that then my rotors hit the ground, and you know, the helicopter's then knackered, or worse, you blow up. So very important to know your helicopter, know the weight, know the feel and everything of it, and practicing low altitude, very good. A second and very advanced type of landing that you'll probably see some of the more skillful pilots landing is one of these, which, as you could tell, I'm not I'm not the best at yet. I like to call this the corkscrew landing. I think there's many other different names for it, but that's an advanced one. So for that, you want to, it's pretty important to have quite a lot of speed. I think I might also be too low to the ground for this, but you want to pull up, you want to do almost like a backflip, then into a barrel roll once you're once you're upside down. And so you kind of do, while you're upside down, you want to do a barrel roll and then almost correct yourself all at the same time. So it's like a 3-in-1 thing. And then, because that way you'll lose a lot of altitude, then you'll be stable, then you'll pretty much be almost floor level just to touch down and get out. But good thing I did mess up, because this is a very good thing about being in this game mode. Because in a real game, this would be knackered. You'll either have to dismantle it if you're near the base, or if you're in the base, sorry. If not, then, you know, you just kind of wasted a bunch of resources. But because you're in this game, you can press Y if you're on mouse and keyboard. If you're on controllers, I'm not too sure the keybind, but you'll be able to find it. If that's not a prompt up here, you can just head into your settings and find it. But once you're here, you want to right click on this icon here, or click it if you're on Xbox and PlayStation, or bottom left, it'll tell you which button to click. As you can see, open context menu, you want to open that. Heal. You can also refuel it if you're having that much fun. You kind of start running low on fuel, and that's all then good to go. If you want to take it a step further and get used to the sounds of your helicopters being hit and being under fire and getting that practice, you can also do that in this game mode. If you hold down Y again, and then you want to click on the All tab here. If you spawned as American as your player, you then want to go over to the Russian. If you spawned as Russian, you want to then spawn in American. And these will then fire on you while you're flying around. So simply just click. And like that. Simple as. And then you want to get back in your helicopter. And then very easily, you just want to fly. You just want to start flying, and they'll automatically gain aggro on you and start shooting at you. Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen, but that's fine. Kind of saw that flying straight towards me, but that's all good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You just want to practice that, spawn in these, get used to them firing at you and shooting at you. It's quite good. I got shot by a rocketeer, to be honest, because it's always good to spawn these in, so you do get used to the sounds of RPGs going past you and not actually hitting you like it happened to me in this case. But yeah, that is pretty much how you practice flying. Very simple, very easy. Just keep at it, really. The more you practice, the better you'll be. And it's very fun. This is a very big map. Well, not very big, but it's got pretty much everything you'll need. You've got an airstrip to practice landing on, and you got these open fields you could practice landing on. You got this town, or this town's gonna say city, but that's not a city. You got the city you can practice like flying around, and even once you got more comfortable with quick landing or just landing in general and everything, you can practice almost landing in these fields back here. Obviously watching your tail rotor and all that with these trees, but yeah, it's a lot easier than you guys think. You just got to give it some practice. Obviously do it in this game mode, because then you can heal your helicopter and everything, and you're not wasting resources in an actual game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this is helpful, and if you guys do have any questions or have any suggestions for any other tutorials or anything you might want or need, drop it in the comments, and I'll be happy to help. So yeah, hope this has helped, and leave a like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.